Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply. It's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Hey, welcome back.
For Humans with Dr. Jeff Galini.
Oh, that's okay. Look, we ran the intro music faster than we were supposed to. Welcome back to a special episode of Superhuman Radio. The first half hour is going to be with Dr. Jeff and I for our regularly scheduled Science for Humans. We're going to talk about some of these sugary sports drinks, right, Dr. Jeff?
Absolutely.
And then later in the show, we have Rob Regish coming on for a special edition of the Blueprint Power Hour. I'm in California calling in remotely. Elliot is in the studio, and Dr. Jeff is in Montana. What a wonderful thing technology brings everybody together. How you doing, Dr. J?
Good, man. I thought you were going to do the jingle just yourself since it kind of played early, you know.
Yeah, no, I was just going to sing it, actually. I'm out here. So I got to tell people something. So I'm out here in California having lunch with people, and I meet this gal, and her name is Nico, and she's been over at Gold's Gym Venice for 17 years. And I say, oh, I work with Dr. Jeff Galini. And her face lights up. I know Jeff. Everybody knows you here, Dr. J. Everybody.
That's cool. And Nico and I, we go way back. And I think you said she started to tell you a story, but we won't get into that.
She started telling me the story. We were at breakfast, and it was mixed company. And I don't know if she was like trying to be quiet about it or whatever. But she's so nice, and she said, "Well, please tell Jeff I said hello. I haven't seen him in so long."
Oh,
but it's
that's
like,
so
brother,
cool.
you're still a legend here in Muscletown, man.
Well, that's cool to know, man. I do keep in contact with quite a few of the guys and gals. A lot of them have moved out of there, but that was a cool time, man. As you've seen, it's really a neat place.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about our fascination with sugary sports drinks. Is that correct?
Oh my goodness, yes, sugar. And it's really interesting when I thought about this topic. These beverage companies are still targeting kids with their marketing, and I call these unhealthy sugar drinks. There's nothing healthy about a sugar drink. And this was in 2014, but there was the Sugar Drink Facts that came out, and this was by Yale Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity. And they were talking about, this is 2013, how these beverage companies had spent over $866 million to advertise these unhealthy drinks to kids. And if you look at, most of the ads, that's who they're targeting, is the younger people. So I thought, let's do a show on sugar. I mean, I know how you and I stand on it. And I started to look at, what are sugary drinks and how much sugar do they contain? And
right.
I was shocked, Carl. I mean, probably the number one seller out there is Gatorade, 21 grams of sugar.
This is, and okay, so it's not that you don't need sugar for energy. There are better sources, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But the reality is, the quality of the sugar they're using, this is generally just high fructose corn syrup. And we know fructose is not a good choice for energy drinks because it must become a long-chain triglyceride first before it can be used as energy. Isn't that correct?
Well, correct, and I think, anything in moderation is okay. So again, I'm not saying that sugar is the devil and you should never eat it. I'm saying, look, these are drinks that are being marketed as healthy, athletic drinks, and some of them aren't. But when I tell you some of the sugar contents, it's pretty amazing. So, for instance, Gatorade has a protein drink out, 45 grams of sugar and 24 grams of protein. You can drink a 12-ounce Coca-Cola for 39 grams of sugar. 20-ounce Mountain Dew is 77 grams. Rockstar, 16 ounces, 62 grams. And I just got two more here. Red Bull, 8.3 ounces is 27 grams of sugar. And vitamin water, 20 ounces is 33 grams of sugar.
Wow.
So if
vitamin
you were to
water.
drink... Yeah, so if you were to drink a Coke maybe once a week or, every couple weeks, not a big deal. But people are drinking, Gatorade, for instance, 1, 2, 3 times a day because they're thinking this is a healthy sports drink, when you might as well just drink a Coca-Cola because sugar contains no essential nutrients. I mean, it's just calories.
Right. And the other thing is people drink these drinks throughout the day even when they're not engaged in sports because they think these are quote-unquote healthy drinks to drink.
Well, and again, that's what marketing is telling us. That's if you watch the commercials, they've got these athletes who are claiming to use these drinks. And you and I both know that professional athletes are not drinking sugar drinks. They are when they're younger, but as they get older and they understand what's going on, no, we don't drink sugar. We know more about it. When I was bodybuilding, prior to getting into bodybuilding and moving to California, I used to drink, Cokes and Pepsis and all that stuff, and I actually even drank these high-calorie drinks, and it wasn't until I understood that the protein was nothing more than gelatin, and it was pure fructose corn syrup was all the carbs, like 100 grams.
Yeah.
And when I went to California, they taught me sugar, no. So, I got rid of, all those drinks and, all the things that had sugar, all the hidden type things.
Well, and I want to just bring this point back around, too. There are some people out there who understand that using a carbohydrate as a pre-intra workout supplement, like Carbolin, for instance, is a smart thing. But high fructose corn syrup is not a good choice for a sugar to power you energy and to increase energy because it's not readily available in the bloodstream. It must go through the liver first. It must be converted to a long-chain triglyceride first, and then it can be converted back 2 more steps before it can become glucose. So you're 3 steps away from having it be utilized during your energy consumption during your workout. And this is why I say these companies have missed the boat by using that as a form of sugar if you're going to use it for fuel during a workout. Am I off base on that?
No, you aren't. And even the companies that are using, they just say sugar, but that could be cane sugar, beet sugar. Again, a lot of people say, okay, well, that's healthier than, aspartame and things.
Right.
Okay,
right.
I may agree or disagree, but again, it comes down to moderation. If you're going to drink one of these drinks once in a while because you enjoy the taste, well, hey, moderation. But if you are depending on these drinks for your hydration or as an energy drink or a pre-workout drink, we already know what happens. Sugar is absorbed within about 5 minutes. So, yes, you get that immediate glucose, or this would be fructose coming from this, but then you crash. So it's really counterproductive, and then add some caffeine to it.
Yeah, right.
How are you going to work out?
So they're not good for you. That's the bottom line, right?
They are not good for you, and I've got kind of a list of things why they're not good for you. If you want to talk about those.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So the first one, like I said, sugar, it doesn't contain anything. So when you look at it, there's no vitamins, no essential nutrients. It's just calories, and it's sweet. So, again, it's used as a sweetener, makes things taste well. As you said, sugar, these types of sugar have to be actually converted to fructose, which then is converted to the triglycerides, which cause all the problems. Carbohydrates are converted to glucose, and that's what your body actually burns. You need that in your system. And again, as you said, overloading the liver with this sugar, this fructose, it can cause something called a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Right.
That's something people aren't talking about.
Right.
We already know that it's bad for your teeth. It causes insulin resistance, which is a stepping stone toward metabolic syndrome and diabetes. So, type 2 diabetes comes from this insulin resistance and overloading the sugar. Some of the cancer people are saying, excess amounts of sugar kind of put the body in a good state for cancer. And as we know, cancer thrives on sugar.
Dr. Otto Warburg discovered that phenomenon, and I'm hearing a lot about that while I'm out here in California. The reality is that Dr. Warburg didn't discover a way to detect cancer by radioisotoping sugar and then watching where it goes in your body. He discovered a way to kill cancer. If you know that cancer needs sugar to survive, then starving it of sugar will kill it. But more importantly, giving your body lots of sugar is going to allow cancer to thrive. You're right on the money about this.
Yeah. And here's one, people don't know this, but sugar causes a massive dopamine release to the brain. So they're now saying that sugar is actually highly addictive. So you think the food companies don't know why they're putting sugar in their products? Absolutely.
Yeah,
and we already know that
there's like a drug-like reaction in the brain. I've actually seen the what are they? CT scans of the brain when people have consumed sugar, and the areas of the brain that light up are the same ones that light up for heroin.
And people say, you hear this all the time, I'm addicted to chocolate. No, you're addicted to the sugar in the chocolate. Because if you were to take cocoa, have you ever tried cocoa?
Yes, Elisa buys raw cocoa nibs, raw organic cocoa nibs from Trader Joe's. They're delicious, but they're not sweet.
They don't taste like sugar or a chocolate bar. I mean, it's the sugar that makes everything taste good, and that's what you are craving. When you are craving a donut, you're not craving the fat it was fried in. You're craving the sugar,
See, and from an evolutionary perspective, we're driven to find sweet because it's good for energy, but the sweets that we had available to us was really basically honey, because even fruit wasn't sweet back then. Fruit was green apples were bitter. I mean, we've basically hybridized fruit to be sweeter and sweeter.
And see. Yeah, absolutely. And, what I do, if I don't like sugar and I don't like candy and I don't like junk, even though sometimes I post funny things, but I love honey, and I have it in the morning, not because I crave it, it's just because I like the fact that, helping with allergies and, to sweeten things.
Yeah.
And then, dried fruits and stuff. I mean, if you really do need that sugar sensation. But the other thing is we already know that it's a leading cause contributor to obesity in both children and adults. And as you said, it's not the fat that raises the cholesterol; it's actually the sugar. I mean, so sugar causes heart attacks. I mean, how else can I say that?
Yes, it's just, and you know what else too that people forget? I did this show in 2007 that glucose signaling is what causes cellular senescence. It causes the cells to die sooner. And your cells, you don't want your cells to die sooner because there's only a certain number of replications that can happen in a cell. I think someone just told me that it's 13. And so you want those 13 replications to last your entire life. You don't want them to, and so this is what speeds aging. High sugar consumption speeds the body to age faster. I mean, this is something that's really not discussed because we have all these people out there talking about anti-aging, but you have to understand that it's glucose signaling that causes a cell to age faster.
Yep, exactly.
Good, I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I know you probably don't have a clock. You're not in the studio. I didn't know.
No, I do. We're actually getting ready to go to break. So here's what I want to do. I want to go to break, but I want to talk about something else. Since we've opened up this can of worms about these sugary sports drinks, there's something else that they make claims to besides providing energy, and that is they claim to be a good source of hydration and, more importantly, electrolyte replenishment. So how about we talk about that when we come out of the break?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Science for Humans. I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Jeff Galini. Elliot Turton is in the studio making this magic happen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Science for Humans.
Do you know how to properly use carbohydrates to ignite your performance in the field and in the gym? You will now, thanks to this free book by EFX Sports. The Carb User's Guide for Maximum Performance reveals why omitting carbohydrates from your diet can totally crush your gains. sports. Ever wonder how many grams you need for your specific sport? Not anymore. We give you the critical number you need to dominate your competition. You'll even discover the super carb that's taking the athletic world by storm. You must try it to believe it. Go to getcarbolin.com/carb guide today and get your copy absolutely free. Once again, it's GetCarbolin.com/CARBGUIDE.
There are a few products that I believe in the way I believe in Can-C eye drops. I've been using Can-C for 6 months now, and the changes in my vision are nothing short of amazing. My near vision has improved, and I can read small print from 8 inches. My overall vision is clearer, and the glare from oncoming headlights doesn't bother me any longer. Just 1 to 2 drops a day, and the results are visible. You can find Can-C eye drops at wisechoicemedicine.net or call 800-861-4936. That's 800-861-4936. wisechoicemedicine.net. Can-C eye drops. The name says it all.
Ever feel like you want something crunchy? From the company that gave us the Quest protein bar, now comes the Quest high protein potato chips with 21 grams of high quality protein and only 5 grams of carbs and no artificial ingredients. Just like Quest bars, you'll feel like you're cheating, but you're not. Go to superhumanradio.com and click the Quest High Protein Potato Chip banner ad today and get ready to be satisfied. Thanks to Quest Nutrition, chips just aren't what they used to be.
There are a few products that I believe in the way I believe in Can-C eye drops. I've been using Can-C for 6 months now, and the changes in my vision are nothing short of amazing. My near vision has improved, and I can read small print from 8 inches. My overall vision is clearer, and the glare from oncoming headlights doesn't bother me any longer. Just 1 to 2 drops a day, and the results are visible. You can find Can-C eye drops at wisechoicemedicine.net or call 800-861-4936. That's 800-861-4936. wisechoicemedicine.net. Can-C eye drops. The name says it all.
In today's day and age, it's refreshing to find a company with values that match yours. And it's even more extraordinary when the products they make exceed your expectation in every way. That's what Michael's Naturopathic Programs has done for over 30 years. With more than 50 tried and truthful high-potency formulas, Michael's Naturopathic Programs give your body what it needs. No more guessing what herb or vitamin, amino acid, or mineral you need. With Michael's, it's all in one bottle. From cardiovascular support to weight management to nervous system support to detox and cleansing and more. Michael's Naturopathic Programs work. They have to. Michael himself has been giving it to his own family from the very start. You can find Michael's product at your local health food store or go to michaelshealth.com and get your tried and truthful formulation. That's michaelshealth.com.
MadeByHemp.com sells the highest quality products derived from industrial hemp, raw oils high in CBD, tinctures, and salves. You can also get fashionable apparel made from industrial hemp at MadeByHemp.com. CBD is a constituent of industrial hemp that has no psychoactive properties, but has been shown to provide a variety of health benefits. Go to MadeByHemp.com today and take a look at all of our amazing products. Use the coupon code SHR to save 25% off your entire order. MadeByHemp.com, your one-stop shop for all things hemp on the web.
Nobel Prize-winning research shows telomeres are an important part of preventing cellular aging. Slowing down telomere shortenings promotes healthy cell replication and longevity. This is simple, folks. Supplement today with the longevity breakthrough of the century, Telos 95. Telos 95 provides the only scientifically validated telomere support ingredient in every capsule. Save 15% off when you use the code TELOS95. Go to superhumanradio.com today and click the Telos 95 banner ad. Age better with Telos 95, the cutting-edge technology that's a leap forward in the science of aging with research that was conducted by world experts on telomere analysis using worldwide patented technology.
This is the Superhuman Channel, where we use oxygen for the power of good.
Hi, my name is... What? My name is... Who? My name is... Slim Shady.
Welcome back
My name
to
is...
Science
What?
for Humans.
My name is... Who? My
With
name is...
myself and Dr. Jeff Galini. We're talking about sugary energy drinks, sports drinks specifically. So we were talking about the problem with all the sugar and the quality of the sugar in these drinks, Dr. J. But what about the fact that they make claims to improve hydration and electrolyte balances? What do you think about that?
Yeah, it really amazes me how they can even get away with that kind of stuff. I mean, science has proven there's four main electrolytes, and the balance of electrolytes, actually there's five, are really important. If you elevate one, you're going to throw off the others. So when you look at these drinks, their electrolytes are coming from sodium chloride, which is table salt. It's the old iodized salt that you put on your food. Again, we learned a long time ago. I mean, back in the 70s, we used to take salt tablets, which were sodium chloride, and it was deemed that those were actually dangerous. Yet these drinks continue to add sodium chloride. Why? Because it's cheap, and it helps to enhance the flavor. A lot of these electrolytes are really in there to promote, enhance, stabilize the flavoring system. They aren't actually added as electrolytes.
And aren't they fairly insignificant amounts? I mean, you make one very important point. People take quote-unquote minerals, and I'm going to just take a bunch of magnesium. I heard that's good, or a bunch of calcium. Right. When you take these individually in a vacuum, you throw off the other ones. The ratios are critical to function. In fact, I've talked about on this show that the way anabolic steroids affect muscle contractile force is by altering the way the electrolytes, hence the minerals in and outside the cells, function. And this is how they make muscle fibers contract stronger through the calcium channel, the sodium pump, so on and so forth. So when you just take sodium and chloride, what about the other ones? What about magnesium? What about potassium? What about calcium? You can't just take sodium and chloride by itself, right? That's not going to work.
No, exactly. Well, like Gatorade, it's 110 milligrams of sodium from sodium chloride. So they try to make the chloride claim, but it's naturally occurring. And then they got 30 milligrams of potassium. So you're talking about elevating your sodium. What's going to happen is your body is going to push out potassium, and it's going to throw off the calcium-magnesium imbalance. So again, isn't going to do anything. Actually, when I drink these drinks, I get cramps. Really? I can't drink them. They're just, it's probably, the sugar and the salt, but I just cannot drink them. So again, you're absolutely right. I mean, if you're looking for electrolytes, you got to deem, what are you going to do? Are you going to be drinking them, are you going to be drinking a gallon of them? Then no, you want to have smaller amounts so that you actually can utilize them. But if you're just going to drink one drink and that's it, then you can take a little bit more so it's actually in your system. But again, you got to have them in a balanced proportion, and they all need to be present, and they need to be in better forms.
What about the young athletes and professional athletes that use these drinks? Now, you've done a great job in your backyard of getting a lot of these athletes to pay attention to carbolin as an alternative to things like Gatorade, which is a much better source of usable carbohydrate. What are you seeing in some of these young athletes?
Well, the first thing I'm seeing in a lot of these young athletes is gum disease and tooth decay from all the sugar.
Really?
This is what we are seeing in our young professional athletes. I mean, it's an epidemic going on. But what I'm seeing here is, again, it's the parents that are driving what their kids can and can't do. Now, the kids are going in and they're buying what they can, these monster drinks and sugar drinks. But, again, their parents, that's what they're telling them to drink. The doctors are telling them to drink. What we've done here and what we are now doing in a lot of schools is, as we've introduced carbolin, I say, look, I mean, the Gatorade principle was great. I think it was developed back in the 60s. Back then, this was a technology, but come on, you wouldn't use a cell phone, let alone from 2 years ago versus the very first one that ever came out. You got to advance with technology. So we now know that, again, sugar, no. Electrolytes, balance. So as you said, I developed carbolin for that exact reason, is I didn't have anything good to use myself. So as I was starting to look at things, I didn't want sugar. Fruits take too long to be absorbed. Honey was okay, but it just wasn't fueling me. I wanted something that was a complex carbohydrate that could be absorbed as quick as a sugar within 5 minutes, so you have that good glucose to burn. And then the carbolin hydrate, because of our experience last year getting carbolin on the sideline, we realized that we did a good job with hydration, but we needed to add some electrolytes. So I went to phosphated electrolyte minerals, and I put all of them in there. So now an athlete is getting what they need to be able to get through. And it was interesting this last year at Rocky Mountain College. We had Carbolin on the sidelines, and it was quite hot a couple of the games, over 100 degrees. We didn't have one kid cramp, where the other teams drinking water or the sugar drinks had on an average of 7 to 8 players come out of the game with some type of muscle cramp that they couldn't even play any longer.
Wow, that's very impressive.
I think that, again, these salts actually contribute toward that. So there's
we even see that in sports where they use diuretics to make weight. When you get these electrolytes out of balance, cramping occurs, muscle fatigue occurs. I mean, it's just a mistake. And I'm just so shocked that all they could come up with when Gatorade was developed at the University of Miami, I believe, of Florida State or something like that, all those years ago, all they could come up with was replacing salt. Yeah. I understand you lose a lot of salt, but you lose a lot of other stuff too.
And and what's even more amazing is it hasn't changed. It continues on. I guess if it's not broken, they're part of that $866 million of advertising. What is their income? I mean, they're making money. So why change it? They're not really concerned like we are about actually, developing things, helping people live longer. I mean, you're not going to be an athlete forever, so you don't want to do stupid stuff that is going to hinder you in the long run. It's all about being healthy, enjoying the time you can be in sport, but then having a fruitful life like we do, being able to lift and enjoy what you can do,
So to the parents out there, real quick before we end this interview, what should they be getting their young athletes to drink?
So I'm going to first say water, because I don't want to be a sales pitch for Carbolin, but the number one thing is they need to be drinking water. Get rid of anything that has sugar in it, these list of things. Now, if you want what I consider the ultimate hydration, because part of hydration is you need to replenish those glucose levels, I'm going to tell you Carbolin. And if you haven't tried Carbolin, go to superhumanradio.com, go to Ask the Scientist, say that you heard the show and you want to try it. I want you to try it. I would not even expect you to invest any money until you had an opportunity to give it a good test drive. That's how confident I am in what we develop, that it's going to work. It is the number one selling carbohydrate in the country right now for a reason.
Yeah, and this is a lot of pro athletes know about Carbolin. Now we need to get the young athletes to understand about it earlier on in their careers before they run through the pitfalls of using these other really crummy drinks during workout and training.
Absolutely.
Dr. J, man, it's great to have you on the show today and to be with you, but it's also great to walk in your shadow while I'm here in Los Angeles.
Well, you enjoy your time. Tell my buddies there at Quest I said hello, even though I don't know them, and I'm sure you'll run into one or two more people that I
feel very confident. I'm actually going to be training with Mike O'Hearn, I believe, sometime next week. So I'll be over at Gold's Gym, the mecca of bodybuilding, and I'm probably going to run into a lot of people that while I'm there.
If you're there in the morning, you'll see Charles Glass and Mike Caparo and a whole bunch of them. So just say, hey, I know Jeff. Anyone know Jeff? And see what they say.
There you go. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Rob Regish for a special episode of the Blueprint Power Hour. You're listening to Supreme Radio. We'll be right back with more.